Your back aches just thinking about digging another garden bed. The grocery bill for fresh vegetables and berries makes you wince every week. And those pharmacy trips for simple inflammation relief, they add up. What if I told you our grandparents knew a secret? 3 resilient plants that, once planted, become your quiet, self-sufficient neighbors for decades. They ask for almost nothing, but give you fresh food spring after spring. By the end of this quiet time together, I'll show you the one plant whose leaves, when steeped, can become a gentle tea that has comforted generations, potentially saving you another trip to the store. Picture the produce aisle. Those thin green spears, trapped in plastic clamshells, they traveled thousands of miles. They cost $4 or $5 for just a handful. They wilt within days. They have no soul left, no connection to earth. Now close your eyes. Travel back with me to a different time, a simpler rhythm. Imagine a homestead at the edge of a property. European settlers called it the asparagus patch. Grandmothers tended it with quiet devotion. It was a sign of a settled home, a permanent sanctuary. The first tender spears were a celebration, a whispered promise of spring. They emerged from cold soil, a quiet rebellion against winter. This was Asparagus officinalis, the garden asparagus, a patient legacy. Let me tell you about its gentle botany. It grows from something called a crown, a deep energy bank underground, a network of roots that stores life. It waits patiently. For 2 or 3 years it establishes itself. It builds its reserves in silence. Then it begins its generous work. For 15 to 25 years it sends up shoots, succulent green gifts every spring. Its taproot plunges deep. It seeks water tables far below. It reduces the need for watering. It asks for so little. It gives for so long. This is the lazy gardener's secret. Plant dormant crowns in a trench. Fall or early spring works beautifully. Dig a shallow trench in good soil. Place the crowns with their buds facing up. Cover them gently. Wait. Once established, the care is minimal. A spring feeding of compost. A gentle blanket over the roots. In late fall, cut back the ferny foliage. That's it. No annual tilling. No constant fussing, just patient partnership. Now imagine the harvest. Walk to your patch in the cool morning. Dew clings to the spears. You reach for one. Your fingers find the natural breaking point. You apply gentle pressure. There it is. The crisp, satisfying snap. A clean break. The sound of perfection. The sound of home. That spear never saw plastic. It never knew a refrigerated truck. It went from earth to your hand in seconds. It carries the morning chill, the scent of rich soil, the promise of nourishment. This is the quiet freedom of a perennial garden. True freedom doesn't shout. It doesn't compete. It grows in silence. It establishes itself slowly. It becomes a permanent part of your landscape, a legacy in your soil. But what about a plant that gives you more? Not just spring vegetables, but also the key ingredient for something special. A tart, comforting pie that stores for months. A preserved taste of the garden. Listen for the sound of a satisfying thunk next. But our garden of freedom does not stop there. Step across the path to the other side. You will find something even more astonishing. A quiet guardian of tartness. The humble rhubarb. Now picture this. You are in a supermarket. You see a small bag of frozen rhubarb stalks, just enough for one pie. The price is quite high. It feels like a luxury, something special for a dessert. But then imagine a single plant. One rhubarb crown in your garden, in a single spring. It can produce dozens of those stalks. An abundance that would cost a small fortune in those frozen bags. This is the quiet rebellion of growing your own. They used to call it the pie plant, for a beautiful reason. It was often planted right by the kitchen door, within easy reach. When the urge for a tart, sweet pie struck, you could simply step outside, snip a few fresh stalks, and return to your mixing bowl. There is an even more delicate story, from Victorian times. They would force rhubarb in special hothouses. These were dark, warm sheds. The harvest was done by candlelight, the soft glow illuminating the tender, pale pink stalks. This forced rhubarb was a prized delicacy, a treasure of the winter months. Now let us look at the plant itself. The magic is hidden underground, a massive knobby rhizome. We call it the crown. It is a storage organ packed with starch and energy. This crown sleeps through the harsh winter, protected deep in the earth. Then, as the soil warms, it explodes with life, sending up those iconic stalks, in shades of crimson red and apple green. They push through the mulch with such determination. The leaves are broad and dramatic, like elephant ears, but we do not eat them. They contain oxalic acid, a natural compound. It makes the leaves bitter and inedible, a clever pest deterrent from the plant itself. This is a plant for the lazy gardener, truly. You start with just one division, a piece of that crown, planted in a sunny spot, and then you almost forget it. It thrives on what some might call neglect, too much rich fertilizer. It actually makes for weak, floppy stalks, a simple layer of mulch. That is all it asks for. To conserve moisture, to keep the roots cool, every 5 to 8 years, you gently dig around the plant. You will find the crown has multiplied. You can divide it, share a piece with a friend, or plant it in another corner of your sanctuary. This is propagation through patience. Now come closer, let me describe the harvest. You select a thick, mature stalk. You take a sharp knife, the blade meets the firm base. There is a sound, a thick, fibrous crunch, a clean cut. The stalk is free. Then you cut it into chunks, 1-inch pieces. They fall into your waiting bowl. Each piece makes a gentle plop, a soft, solid sound, promising future pies and crumbles. A tart pie is truly wonderful. But what if your garden could offer you more? What if it could give you a sweet, sun-warmed treat right off the cane? Something bursting with compounds that quietly support your body. Wait for the gentle hum of bees in the next chapter. But our sanctuary of freedom does not end there. Step across the path to the other side. You will find something even more generous waiting. It is the humble bramble, the generous bramble, blackberries and raspberries. They are called rubus, perennial cane fruits. They ask for so little, they give so much. Think about those small plastic containers in the store. Organic berries, $6, $8 for just a handful. They wilt in your fridge after a day or two. That fleeting freshness feels like a small heartbreak. You paid for a memory of summer, but it fades too fast. I remember being a child, going blackberry picking, the edge of a forgotten field. The bramble was always there. It came back every year without fail. My arms would be covered in fine scratches, tiny red lines from the thorns, but it was always worth it. The reward was a bucket full of dark, dusty jewels. My grandmother would make jam. She would bake pies. We would eat them straight from the cane, still warm from the sun. That bramble was a provider, a quiet, dependable friend. The plant itself teaches us about gentle cycles. It grows on a 2-year system. The first-year canes are called primicanes. They grow tall and green. They gather sunlight. They store energy deep in their roots. The second-year canes are called floricans. These are the ones that flower. They bear the fruit. Then their work is done. They die back. They make room for new growth from the same perennial rootstock. It is a perfect cycle of renewal. Nothing is wasted. The old makes way for the new, year after year. A quiet promise kept. For the lazy gardener, it is a dream. You plant bare root canes in a sunny spot. A simple row. A basic trellis keeps them tidy. That is all they ask. The annual chore is a brief winter meditation. After the harvest, you walk out. You find the old, gray, dead canes. You cut them out at the base. It takes maybe 15 minutes. The sound of the secateurs is clean and final. Then you leave them. They are remarkably drought-tolerant once established. Their roots go deep. They find water where other plants cannot. They are survivors, gentle survivors. Now come closer. Listen. There is a specific sound to a perfectly ripe blackberry when you pluck it gently from its white core, the torus. There is a soft, muffled pop, a release. It is barely a sound at all, more of a feeling in your fingertips. Then the quiet rustle of leaves. As your hand moves through the canopy, a whisper of green against your skin. This is the music of the harvest. No machinery, no packaging, just nature's gentle offering. Plant a bramble. It is a quiet rebellion against overpriced fleeting things. It is a return to a slower rhythm, the rhythm of a child's summer, the rhythm of a grandmother's kitchen. Berries for your morning bowl are a gift, a sweet, generous gift. But the deepest gift from a perennial garden is often in the leaves we overlook, in the quiet, green things we take for granted. In our final moment together, I want you to follow a different scent, not of fruit, but of earth and steam. Follow the scent of earth and steam. There is a secret waiting there, buried just beneath the surface, a strange and wonderful plant. It holds a different kind of healing. Let's find it together. But our free garden doesn't end there. Step across to the other side of the path. You'll find something even more astonishing. It's not about the berries this time. It's about what we usually overlook, the humble raspberry leaf. Imagine this. You're in a store. You see a small box of specialty herbal tea. It promises gentle support. The price tag makes you pause. It traveled halfway around the world. Wrapped in plastic, losing its connection to the earth completely. This is modern exhaustion, paying premium prices for what grows freely, just outside our doors. Do you remember your grandmother's garden, where time moved differently, where wise women knew something precious? They practiced something called simpling, the art of using common garden plants, plants like the raspberry bush, Rubus idius. These women understood its gentle strength, especially for women's health. They would gather the young leaves in morning dew, make strengthening infusions. This wasn't medicine in the modern sense. It was traditional support, a quiet companion through life seasons. Now let's understand the gentle botany. Raspberry leaves contain something special, an alkaloid called fragrine. It has a gentle toning effect on smooth muscle tissue. The leaves are also rich in vitamins and natural tannins. This isn't about curing anything. It's about gentle traditional support, a quiet partnership with nature. Now for the lazy gardener's ritual, early morning. The dew still clings to everything. You approach your raspberry patch. Listen to the soft rustle of leaves. As you gently part the canes, select only the healthy young leaves, the ones with that vibrant green color. Feel the satisfying snap. As you harvest just a handful, no special processing needed, just a gentle rinse under cool water. Then lay them out to air dry or use them fresh. Right now, this is where the sanctuary ritual begins. Fill your kettle with fresh water, place it on the stove. Listen, that soft rumble as the water heats. Then the first gentle bubbles forming, a quiet symphony building, until it reaches that perfect gentle boil. Now take your favorite ceramic pot. Place the raspberry leaves inside. Pour the hot water over them. Hear that beautiful sound. The water meeting the leaves, a soft hiss of release. Watch the steam rise, carrying the gentle aroma of green, of earth, of patience. Now cover the pot, let it steep in quiet, 5 minutes, maybe 10. Time stretches differently here. This is slow living in a cup. Finally, pour the infusion into your favorite mug. Watch the amber liquid flow. Hold the warm ceramic in your hands. Feel the heat seep into your palms. Take that first slow sip. Taste the gentle, slightly astringent flavor. This is more than tea. This is a quiet rebellion against overpriced artificials. This is financial freedom, growing silently in your garden. This is forgotten legacy, passed down through generations of wise women. This is gentle resilience. In a world that moves too fast, true freedom doesn't shout, it doesn't compete, it germinates in silence, it grows without struggle, in the quiet corners of our gardens, and in the peaceful moments of our days. This quiet ritual turns garden leaves into comfort. And what about the parts we usually discard? What gentle magic might they hold? Always consult with your healthcare provider about any herbal preparations. But never forget the profound, gentle power of knowing what grows at your doorstep. It's not just food, it's a quiet form of independence. Don't toss those raspberry canes after pruning. Click the video on screen to see how I transform them into a natural, supportive garden tonic for next year's growth.